in the local constitutional coup in California, and this is right at the end of the latest term of the U.S. Supreme Court, and with lots of news to report that you're going to love. So, whether you're involved in evictions, foreclosures, child procurement syndicate, traffic court, you name it, we have some issues that we're going to be taking up with the U.S. Supreme Court. And given what they've already done, and with what I expect will be some new justices nominated over the summer, that's a lot of bargaining leverage for us because they know that court's been a big part of the problem for the last 100 years. They've done better in the last 5 or so. We'll learn more about that later. But that's great news for us because we get those younger justices on the court. And when this shit hits the fan here, it's going to be very ugly about what has transpired in the last 90 years, at least, if not more than that. And that court is responsible for it to a large degree. But they know what I know about the non-existent 14th Amendment and birthright, citizenship, and you name it. So at this point, I know what the court is going to do, why they're going to do it. The win is a little up in the air, but that's a lot of bargaining leverage for us with the perps in your case, because you'll learn it isn't just your case. A win on the record, especially in my hometown of Washington, D.C., will put a lot of these perps out of business and maybe on the street, and we'll see how they like it. That's how good it is and how good it should be. If we get our original government back, as ordained and established by those racist framers, the Republican form of government of defined unlimited powers. Not the much ballyhooed democracy we have these days, otherwise known as three wolves and two sheep voting on what's for dinner, or today's elected despotism. So instinctively, you all know a lot that's going on wrong with your cases, and you don't know why. That's my job, to get the issues in there, to explain it to you, and make settlement demands on the perps. And we'll be talking much more about that particular issue later. Because sometimes the perps won't be who you think they are. But it's great news for all of us. Because the Supreme Court's going to have to now decide which one exists, the Constitution or the 14th Amendment. And that's a no-brainer. 14th Amendment never has, never did. They ruled it contemporaneously unconstitutional. So it's all good news for us and a lot of bargaining leverage against the perps. So that said, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. Should have got that in there earlier. And we can discuss your case and the particulars and my modestly priced materials, and you're going to love it. And with my materials, by the way, you get complimentary phone consultations because I know we have to get you up to speed. Complimentary updates on all documents, even a complimentary Zoom appearance, in court, quote unquote, if I can even do that much. You're going to learn more about that later. What a lawful deserter just and gonna state citizen can't do in their quote unquote court these days. But all that tells you, and it makes our winning argument, is there are no judicial courts. You've never been in one at any time. And oh, by the way, no statute of limitations on deceit, fraud, and treason. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, to learn more. And the more you do, the more exciting it is. And myself, I'll be 77 later this year, and life is pretty much still ahead of me. I've had a rough patch or two this year, no question about that. Mostly not anything to do with my age, but it's really that exciting, and I wish they would have taught me this stuff all those decades ago back in Washington, D.C. when I went to school. But they didn't teach me, and they sure as hell didn't teach you. Learn more, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. And that's a tremendous starting point. And best of all, by the way, and it's going to be a really good chunk of change with the settlements. More importantly, you're going to be out there making changes for your children and your posterity so they don't have to go through this bureaucratic bullshit anymore. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. It's that good, you'll find out a stunning amount of information. And like I say, instinctively you get it. But you're not going to know the whys and the wherefores. And that's what's going to get us some huge settlements here. Because if we go before the Supreme Court and win, especially against an HOA, corporate landlord, New York bankster, it isn't just your case. Because their decision is good from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon. And as you'll learn, if we need to do it, so is mine. And yes, I do my own court orders, so I'll learn more about that too. And it's going to make perfect sense when you do. As strange as that seems. So send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. Learn more on how to take care of business here and invoke your creator, endowed, and alienable rights that they don't want you to know you have. Wow. That's just how far astray this just us system has gotten here. But we have the tools and we can get in there and beat it, especially in front of a common law jury. And trust me, I'm never going to be allowed to see one of those, though I would love to, but they're going to pay us off and make us go away. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe, like the videos, get the word out. The sooner we start putting these bastards in their place, the quicker we get our rights and our lives back. Thank you.